G'day everyone, welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be Knackers Yard. I'm still alive! Only just. Good God, what a freaking week. I did end up being man down for 1.5 days out of it. Regular COVID testing throughout. It wasn't COVID, but fun. It kind of sinuses, throat, chest is still rattling around my chest a little bit. The best compliment I got halfway through was had a couple of girls saying, "Your voice sounds really good." I'm like, "Great, I sound good. I feel freaking awful." But anyway, that's an aside. Not done a lot, not doing a lot. Bit of an empty, hollow update. I have ordered the tappets. They are en route apparently. I think what I might try with the existing tappets, for those who didn't see the last one, the oil tappets for the VT750, one of them is okay. I think one of them was stuck, but I seem to have freed. The other one is goosed because there is no giving it, there's no bounce. The spring inside is sprung, is knackered. So I do need to look up mounting them again properly because it is a bit more complicated than normal. Well, normal is a hydraulic system. The whole thing's more complicated than I'm used to. I'm no freaking expert here. I might go for a dry run. I'm not sure if I'll do that today. I might try it this afternoon. I'll see, but I don't think it's going to be in this upload. What I am going to do in this upload is a little bit of update in the tank, a little bit of my Sandblaster as well, which I have got working again. So looking at the tank, I have given it a dose of electrolysis, a dose of white vinegar, albeit white vinegar that I'd used before, so it wasn't really that white anymore. But I thought I could squeeze a second use out of it. It did a little bit, but really fucking not that much, to be honest. And it's in on its second dose at the moment. Now, for those that haven't done it, I've done videos on it before, uploads on it before. It is essentially, where are we going? It is essentially water, soda crystals. I'm trying to think of what the sodium carbonate is what you need, soda crystals. So, you know, from your local, if you have one, I've got a brilliant little shop up the top of the hill that is like a cheapy home needs shop that does pretty much anything from cooking supplies, i.e., you know, crockery, cutlery, bits and pieces. It's a little bit of a was it Allrights? Arkwrights, that's the one. Really good shop, little cheap shop. It's pretty much got fundamentally the worst of everything, i.e. the cheapest of everything. So, you know, it does sell paint stripper, for example. Don't work, but it sells it, you know, that sort of thing. But if it's something stock, you know, something stock, watching too much Matt Hudson and Del Boy stuff. If it's basic stuff like that, it's great. So, you know, £2.50, that's about 3 tanks worth in there. You know, it's fine. It's fine. Really nice family that run it as well. Really nice Afghan family. Just really friendly, really nice people, and really good to get an insight into bits of the world you really don't know much about. But anyway, that's an aside. So it's had a few, now for those, it's a bit easier to show than to explain. So you need on the positive, i.e. you're effectively sucking from negative to positive because that's the way electricity flows, and it's pulling the rust off. On your positive side, that's like an overnight batch. Now, bearing in mind that's had a few doses and this, that, and the other. So what I'm going to do is scrape that off, chuck it under my mop of one of them. Not one of them, that's new ones, but an old one, just to get it nice and shiny, to get bare metal on there again, and chuck it in and just keep doing that throughout probably the week and see if I can get what I can off it. But yeah, that's pretty, when you think about it, that was, you know, in my tank. Nasty, nasty stuff. Anyway, I'll do that off screen. Ooh, I've just dropped it and it's all fallen off. Now the other bit, the tank sealant in there, the flaky tank sealant, which is this stuff that I have just reached in and peeled out. A couple of you guys before about saying, well, test what it is, etc, etc. I mean, yeah, I really don't know. All I can do is try stuff. So I have tried. I have a series of jam jars here. I have diesel, which appears to have done nothing at all. I have nail polish remover, which again appears to have done nothing at all. On suggestion from a few of you guys, I got proper acetone as well, 99.9% apparently. That's been in 3 days. Doesn't really appear to be doing much else. Just to prove it, acetone. Because I know you people don't believe anything I say. So what? I'll leave it and see what happens. I'm in no rush. I am still trying to clear out that tank. We'll see. I think fundamentally I'll just keep dosing it with electrolysis, because if nothing else, I need whatever I'm going to do to it, I need as much rust out of it as I can get out of it one way or another, and take it from there. Now, if that means that I then have to clamp a bike chain, as in a push bike chain, in the jaws of my drill or electronic screwdriver, probably better stick it in and swirl it round, see if I can knock off as much as I can, then, you know, so be it. We'll see what happens. But with the exception of spending actually quite a lot of money on something that's supposed to get rid of old tank sealant for it not to work, because I don't exactly know what material the previous sealant is. That's even if it is one material, it may have been done twice, maybe overlapped, maybe layered. I don't know. So we'll see how we get on with that. Now, the other bit in my mid-lurg, I had promised myself to get fresh sand for my Sandblaster. In fact, let's do it live. I'll turn my camera around and I'll walk you around to my setup and you can see what I'm on about. Right. Let's give you a walk and talk of my domain. That's Graham. Oh, it's starting to rain. Right, it's my outside fridge. And this is my setup. The ladder's not always in there, but hey. So what have I done? I have raised it on bricks because I wasn't on it long and I was getting backache, which ain't great. I've got that I think, if I remember correctly, is a 50 litre. It just about copes, because one of you guys asked on the short, actually, it just about copes. I could probably do with a bigger one. I don't really have space. I'm just a tit in a shed. It works. It does what I need to. The best thing I bought for it is an extendable. That means that I can just poke it around through a hole in my garage, and it means I can use air tools in the garage, which is a bonus, or I can just plug it in and go. So you may see, you will see, it's gone blick. I can't quite remember the name of it, but it is coarse as opposed to the fine sand that I had in before, because I thought, well, actually, that's cheap, and I bought it. Now, the only issue that I had, well, wrong, I had two issues. One, it was so coarse that the hose that I had, is it still here? Yes, the hose that was on it was like wobbly, and it just meant it was getting so blocked up that it was just sucking the hose and stopping it. Now, fortunately, I had my really dodgy set. It was like open air sandblasting that had a firmer hose that doesn't just suck in. It's a lot firmer, and it's probably too long. I probably need to cut it back. Now, the second issue that I had, now I didn't realise this is terrible filming. There you go, there's my gun, is the nozzle at end, there you go, there's my nozzle, was just constantly getting blocked. Constantly, and I thought, oh shit, I'm gonna have to get rid of this sand and get some finer stuff to put it through. So what I didn't realise was, things in the way. There you go, there's the end result of a really, really rusty piece that it's just boomed the crap out of, which is lovely. I mean, it's really harsh, but when it comes down to it, what do I use it for? I use it for rust removal as much as anything else. It's not fine surface stuff, so I went hard plastic edges. I didn't realise the nozzles come in different sizes. I measured that, it was about 4.5 mil. Had a look online, and you can buy them bigger. So I did have a go at thinking, fuck it, I'll just drill it out. That'll be easy. Of course, it's ceramic, isn't it? So I managed to get a 5 mil down it. Wrong. It was 4.5. I managed to get a 5 mil down it. I opened it up 0.5 mil. The next drill bit that I had was a 6. I tried that and it cracked, which is annoying. But it's cracked at the base, so super glued it up, chucked it in. It's fine for now. It's better, but it does block. I've got a 7 mil. 7 mil, 0.7, no, 7 mil coming, 3.5 quid, I think, something like that. So yeah, not that this gets a great deal of use, but it's a brilliant thing to have. I've now dropped my vac to the side because now it's a little bit higher. Got room to open the door without it catching, which is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And that vacuum has made such a difference in its operation. In terms of, I can see it doesn't gam up within seconds. Quite loud. But then saying that, because it's only a relatively small capacity air compressor, it kicks in really quickly. You know, it's annoying. The bit of wood is in there because it's got a nail plumb through it. I was essentially using and I'll do it round the side, but every time it was getting jammed up, I was banging it on the nail, and it got most of them off. But you know, it is not ideal, but I was actually quite impressed with what I could do with it. It was kinda cool. Right, let me just remember to turn everything off. Not quite everything, because my security light's attached to it around the back. Right, let's get you back into garage. Okay, and my hokey setup continues. Where have I just put that? Idiot boy, where have you put it? There we go. So I've just cleaned that off. That's just with the paint removing piece. Just rough, but it needs the bare metal to get to it. Now I've bent this so it will go down the tank a bit. The tape is there so that I don't accidentally earth it against the spine of the tank. A little bit of rubber to insulate it. Just give it a shake to make sure it's not hitting anything inside the tank, that it is just suspended. A bit of sparks prove you've got a connection. And give it a couple of seconds. I'm just going to grab a bit more water and I will be back, so I just want to top it out. Right, and there you go, a little bit of bubble and fizzing already, literally been seconds. And I'll leave that to do its thing. Probably for the best part of the weekend, so I'll whip that out after a few hours later on this afternoon. I mean, it's now, I've just picked up my daughter, so about 1 o'clock. I'll whip that up mid-afternoon, see what the score is. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for our postie, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, I think. Not in terms of paint, etc. I just want to get some of the grime off it. While it's out, and you may as well, there's no opportunity to do it once it's in, while I'm waiting for those tappets to come through. I have in the past spent money on things like degreaser, etc, but actually anything soapy seems to do just as well, even if it's a little bit, you know, even if you do it not neat, but you do it, you know, more concentrated, that's the word I was looking for, than you would on the washing up. But I'm not going to make you watch that. I might do is just chuck some cloths around it so I catch the drip off, and just have at it with some soft brushes. I've got a couple of brass ones there. I don't really want to use them because they're cheap brass ones. Well, that one's not even brass, that one's steel. But you know, just be careful when you're buying brass stuff, because quite often it ain't, and it's just brass coated, particularly if you buy cheap crap like I do. And I don't want to be scraping off paint and repainting an engine, frankly. I might do some touch-ups on bits and pieces, but I need to get rid of the keck before I start thinking about that sort of thing. And I'm going to do that off shot, because that would be an incredibly boring thing for you to watch. Right, so a bit of a hollow update. My apologies. My apologies. I was halfway between apologies and apologies then. But while I'm waiting on the tappets, it's about all I can do. I think tomorrow I'll have a go at sort of effectively dry fitting the top end. So once the carnage of a Saturday's gone, I'll probably sit there this evening with a beer and the manual and just look up on how to replace them and maybe do a dry run on the ones that are knackered, possibly without even using the shims, to be brutally honest, just to see if I can get them in and set up. Again, with the existing gasket that's in there, etc., which I've got the replacement for, but I just want to see. I'm pretty certain I cocked it up last time. It is more complicated than one would think. Not complicated, it's staged than one would think. It's not just dropping on a head like you would on a normal rocker system. It is a little bit more convoluted, but anyway, I'll have a play, which should mean that I have a better chance of getting the proper ones in without wrecking them. But we shall see. All the joys. Right, that'll do me for another quickie. Cheers all. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.